Hi, Flosstube. This is Amanda with Sycamore Stitches. Welcome back. If you're back, or welcome if this is the first time you're tuning in. Um, Thank you to everyone who's been watching and subscribing. Um, just went over 200 subscribers, which I think is amazing. It hasn't even been 2 months since I started this, so thanks everyone. Anyhow, this is Flosstube number 4. And my schedule was a little off this month because I ended up doing the first Flosstube of the month on the second week. So anyhow, it's been 2 weeks, so I thought this was a good time to do it. Also, it's one of the last days that my kids have school before they'll be home, and I really won't be able to record anything probably once they're home and running around. So after this, I'll probably see you all again the Monday after the new year when they go back to school. I haven't done a ton of stitching since we talked last. I mean, I've made some progress, I think, on all of my projects, but just haven't spent as much time as I usually do. I think in the last 2 weeks, I spent less time than I normally would do in 1 week. And some of that is just things that were busy, and also I guess I just wasn't in the mood. I got a new video game that I was playing, so I was doing that instead. So I made a lot of progress on that, if that matters. And nothing, and it's not even like a really like new or interesting video game. It was just like one of those Lego ones, but there's something super satisfying about just like running around and smashing everything in sight. I kind of like that. So that's what I've been doing with my days. But we are probably basically at the solstice. When is it? Maybe in a couple days. And so maybe that will help because the days will gradually start getting longer. And so I'm hoping my energy levels will also start going up as well. They usually follow the pattern of the sun. So although it is a pretty nice sunny day out today, I can see a blue sky, which is not the norm for where I live in Pittsburgh at this time of year. We usually have some pretty gray skies, but it's a nice blue sky today. So anyhow, I do not have anything fully finished, which I should, because I have 3 finished projects sitting there, and 2 of them I have everything I need to finish them. I just haven't. And the other one I still have to figure out what I'm doing as far as a frame and order that. I got a tiny bit further with this just because, like I said last time, I needed to pull out the back stitching on the bottom. So I did do that. And if you didn't watch the last video, it's because this quote was, it says, "It always seems impossible until it is done." And it was attributed to Nelson Mandela, but then when I looked it up, I couldn't find that he actually ever said it. So I wanted to take the part that had his name back out of there so as not to misquote anyone. And it's still a cool quote without potentially misquoting somebody. I can't completely verify if he did or did not say it, but it seemed to be leaning towards he didn't. So I did manage to take that out, but I still haven't managed to wash and iron it and put it on the canvas that I want to put it on. So perhaps I will get to that. Anyhow, maybe next time. So no fully finished objects, no finished objects either. No starts. I've just been working on my my 6 whips that I've been consistently working on. So I also forgot, one of these days I will figure out like my actual schedule of doing things. I forgot to take pictures of where exactly I was last time I did a video. I need to remember that when I'm putting everything away after doing the video, that's the time to take pictures before I put them all away. So making a note of that so that maybe I'll remember to do that today so that I don't have the same problem next time. But I didn't, like I said, I didn't make a ton of progress. It'll be easy for me to just describe what I've done since last time. So we'll start with whatever is closest to me, which is probably my most seasonally appropriate piece, which is called Ski Lift. And I like this one. It's got some bright colors, although there's definitely going to be too much white on white stitching for me, but I haven't got to that yet, so I'll complain more when I do. Here's where I'm at. So I've got a lot of the lift itself done. Last time I just had the little light blue in the windows and the yellow and orange. So I did 3 more colors here on the lift. These kind of dark and like the dark and light purple, which is on the top and bottom, and this kind of blue on the sides too. So got a little bit done of that. I think it was like 400 stitches worth or so, but not much further. Okay. Next, I have my Between Two Pines piece, which is from Emma Congdon's Cross Stitch for the Earth book. This is the second pattern that I've been working on out of this book. And this is what it will look like. And the fabric is the dark green, so the fabric is actually a lot of the pattern itself. And so because of that also, I feel like it's not really going to look like much until it kind of all comes together. I finished the first color because I'm probably going to kind of color complete this one. It looks like I'll be able to because it's not super big. So I did complete this first color, which is just the one that was in the middle when I started it. So mainly I did a lot of this kind of lower area and then like all of this on the side. And so you can start to see a little bit. You can see some of the words forming. You can see the trunks of the trees on both sides and then like the tops of these pines here. So next I'll probably start with the pink that's up above there and start working on that. And this is my, when I leave the house, this is my travel piece. Oh, why is my needle minder all the way up, jammed in the corner? My needle's still on it though. Yeah, this is my piece for when I leave the house because it has this really dark fabric, so I'm not nearly as worried about it getting dirty. That's how I decide which ones I'm taking out. Which ones I'm not as worried about them getting dirty, because my pieces always seem to get a little grungy, and that's probably a little bit my fault because I don't like to take them out of the hoops like ever, because it slows me down if I have to resituate them in a hoop or a Q-snap every time I want to work on them. So I usually just leave them in there, and sometimes I have to move them around, but not very much. And so anyhow, even when I use the grime guards, it's like I still get, I don't know, I sit here and I have like wipes by my things so that I clean my hands and stuff, so I don't really know how to avoid that. Usually it either comes out when I wash them or it's far enough away from the piece itself that you don't see it once I frame it. So I guess that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if there's dirt behind it, you won't see it. Okie doke. What is next? Oh, behind me. When I sit here, I usually sit at the desk, which is behind me, and this is my little table. But with the lighting, it makes more sense to do the videos in this direction because I have some big windows there and you don't want the glare from them, and I've got my little light. So I get discombobulated because I'm sitting backwards. So here's my next one. It's called Bird and Garden. And last time I had finished the bird, and I said that I wasn't sure if I'd be able to finish the flowers by the end of the month, by the end of the year. But I do think I'm going to be able to. I did a few more colors on them. I still have a ways to go with the flowers. I changed its configuration a little bit here. And so all of what you see on the flowers is basically what I've done since last time. And I finished out 2 more colors, 3 colors. The taupe you can barely see, but it's over here. And then 2 different oranges. And I finished them out for the piece. So I have 4 more colors. Each of them will only be about like one little session, you know, that is about, my sessions are usually like an hour and a half to 2 hours. But so I need like 1 more session with each of those 4 colors to finish this. And I have 2 weeks. So I think I can make that happen, even if I ignore some of my other stuff. I'm going to make this one a little bit of a priority. There's 5 flowers. This big one, and then these kind of 4 smaller ones, and they have stems that go down. So I am definitely making that my goal to finish that by the end of the year, by next time we talk. These are all I have left, is these 4 colors to finish on it. So should be able to do it. Okay. Next is my Owl Forest embroidery called Northern Land. It's a sampler type piece with 3 variegated colors. And I keep saying, like, I don't really like simplers, but something about this one or the colors or something, I don't know. I just loved it. So I'm working on this one. I had made my husband a very specific list of things that I would want for Christmas or my birthday, which is in January. And I had included several of the Owl Forest kits just because I figured that was something that was easy for someone to just pick out because everything was in it. I've never gotten like their full kits before. Anyhow, he is talking about, he mentioned that he had to like order from the Russian site and blah, blah, blah. So I suspect that I'm going to get something from Owl Forest, either for Christmas or for my birthday in January, or maybe both. We'll see. So I guess I'll let you know at least part of that next time. I'm excited. So this is how far I am on that. Last time I had finished this whole kind of top section, and I think I was coming down a little bit on this one, and I had done this blue. So I've been mainly working on the red, finished up this motif, did this one, and then I'm coming down for this one. This is a quite large one. I'll show you again. So right, working on this big giant motif right there. So anyhow, again, not a ton of progress, but moving along. This was like the top. If you divided it in half, this is the top quarter. Now there's a whole half that's like one big piece, and then there's a quarter, and then everything will duplicate, mirror on the other side of it. So anyhow, this is my don't take out of the house piece because I won't be able to wash it because it's, you know, the over dyed thread. And I don't even know if I'm supposed to wash that type of fabric either. The like dyed fabric, maybe I am. It doesn't matter because I'm not gonna be able to wash that piece unless like something really dramatic happens to it. So that's my be very be very, very careful with piece. So those are my 4 smaller ones. Here's my big ones. So, well, I'll show you. After I show you the whips, I'll show you. I did buy a project bag this week. My first one. I haven't even put anything in it yet because I was going to just show you it and then use it. But my project bags are like random tote bags, and a couple of them are these kind of purses I buy at the thrift store that work well. But for my 2 big projects, my project bags are pillowcases. So anyhow, on to my 2 pillowcase projects. First, we have my Watercolor Bear. And I'm working on the first page of this, which is kind of like about that top corner. And my goal is to have page 1 done by the new year. And I think that will be able to happen. So here's where I am on that. I did a bunch more colors down in this kind of section, some of these blues and stuff. Just gradually filling it more in. Like I said, the page break is probably around here. And here, I don't just stop exactly there. I go past it if I still have that color. You can tell I was working on this while wearing my fuzzy blue robe because there's pieces of blue fuzz all over it, but that will come off. So yeah, this is a lot of kind of full cross stitch in the trunk and some of the branches, and then a lot of half cross stitch in that kind of more backgroundy stuff, which, you know, it's very, like I said, watercolory looking finished project. So it's coming together. You can start to see it. It's kind of weird one to work on because it doesn't really look like anything at first because there's so many different colors. There's a lot of blends, and you know, but I like that it's starting to look like something. And so then after I do finish this, I'm going to move on to this one, go all the way across, and then I'll move the Q snap and start going down. I think according to Pattern Keeper, I am like 13.5% on that one. Something like that. And let's see, I did like like 600 stitches or so since I last showed it. But since a lot of those are half stitches, half cross stitches, it kind of feels like cheating to say, oh, I did 600 when they were like, most of them were halves. So it's really like 300. They go fast. Okay. And lastly, we have my Peppermint Purple 2021 Sow, which I had put away for a long time and had got back out. And I'm not going to finish it by the time it's finishing at the end of the year. And I mean, this isn't really a picture of it. This is just like kind of the pattern, the general shape and color. And I'm using the called for colors on that. Let's see here. And this is where I'm at. And what I did this week were these 2 squares here. That was it. Usually the small squares take about half an hour and the large squares an hour. This one though, this one took like probably at least 45 minutes. Is quite dense. Quite dense. But strangely enough, I hate backstitching, but I kind of like the black work, even though I didn't do it in black. Haha. Or at least I really do like the Peppermint Purple black work. It's very like crisp when you're done with it. earlier this year I had done a whole, like a pattern, oops, sorry, from her site. That was a blackwork pattern. It was the one with geckos. And that was fun to do, but I don't have it because I gave it to my mom. Okay, so those are my whips. As you can see, not a ton of progress, but a little bit. I think I like spent about 14 hours stitching in the last 2 weeks. Now, some weeks I stitch 15 to 20 hours, so 14 in 2 weeks is fairly low for me. So maybe I needed to take a little break. As far as haul, oh, I should have mentioned at the very beginning, hopefully you're still around because we do have a giveaway this time, which is exciting. So stick around to the end for that. Anyhow, as far as haul, I had mentioned that I didn't want to get into this one thing that I had bought last time, but it was a pattern, and it's just this little nest with 3 eggs in it. But here's why this is important. So I've never mentioned why I'm called Sycamore Stitches. Oh, I think I did. Maybe I did. Anyhow, we have a giant sycamore tree in our yard. It's one of the reasons my husband and I wanted to buy this house, because it was just so huge that the two of us could not reach our arms around it and touch each other's arms when we bought this house. And we only live like 10 minutes from downtown Pittsburgh. Technically like right outside the city limits, maybe a mile outside the city limits, but still yards are small. I don't think I would call this exactly suburban. Anyhow, to have a tree that big in our yard is like, I don't know. We thought it was really cool. We're not from the city. My husband grew up on a farm, and I grew up more in the suburbs. But we were both about 45 minutes away from Pittsburgh. Anyhow, we live here now. We like it. I love being able to walk everywhere. But I also love that we have a giant tree in our yard. And also that our yard is big enough that it is not like menacing our house, because that's another reason why people don't have giant trees in their yards here. Anyhow, so we have a giant sycamore tree. And I've always wanted to name our house. I don't know why. I think houses with names are cool. And we have lived here for 13 years now, but I hadn't named it. But then last year, during the pandemic, we built an addition on the house. And I thought that when the addition was finished would be a good time to like finally name my house and give it a name. And I decided that I wanted to name it Sycamore Nest, after the tree, and just after the fact that like we had all our kids here. And yeah, it's just like a nest. It's where we are raising our family and taking care of them. And so I wanted to get like some sort of sign to either put on the outside of the house or over our mantle or something that said Sycamore Nest. I was going to get one of those like wooden ones that people make. And then my husband said, you should stitch a banner, which he's right, I should. But that means that I have to now design a banner. So I don't know how long it's going to take for me to design it, let alone stitch it. But this is going to be part of it. So this is the nest part of the sycamore nest. And we have 3 kids, so the 3 eggs seemed appropriate. And so I also think I'll probably keep the colors here and then use this as kind of like my colorway for the rest of the project. So basically I'm just gonna have to design something where the font, get a font and write out Sycamore Nest, have this kind of down in the corner. And then I'm gonna need to get some other motifs. Probably not design them myself, probably like buy them or take them from patterns and then like add them around. So just probably some leaves, feathers, twigs, stuff like that I'm gonna kind of put around it. Possibly I would love to find something that's like a sycamore leaf. Have not found one yet. There was one on Etsy that came up when I searched it, but it's not my tree. I think sycamore might be one of those trees that in different areas of the world, they use the same name for completely different trees. I'm not really sure. I'll have to check on that because the leaves did not look right. And it wasn't even the right seeds. They had like Samara seeds, you know, like the helicopter ones. And I'm like, that's not the kind of seeds my tree has. My tree has, you know, the puffy, they look like puffy, but the puffy spiky seeds that like you can pull apart. Anyhow, it's the kind of sycamore that we have here in Pittsburgh with like the kind of flaky mottled bark where it comes off in big chunks and stuff like that. And the leaves are like as big as my head. Anyhow, if anybody knows where I can find a pattern of a sycamore leaf, let me know. I don't know when I'm going to start this project, but I have a start to it and I'm going to have to just keep going from there. So that is a big story for one little pattern I bought, and that's why I didn't want to get into it last time. Okay, other haul. Well, one last thing before I show the other thing I bought. I won a giveaway, yay, on another Flosstube. Christy's Corner Needlework. She does fun designs. Like, she's just been doing a lot of like Christmas embroidery ornaments and stuff like that. Anyhow, I've been watching her Flosstube. I like it. And I won a pattern from her shop. So this is one I picked out. And it's like purple mer people. Pretty cute. I'm not sure when I'm going to do that one either. But let's go in the stash. I'll put her Flosstube down below. And I went to a little stitch-in last week. Feels longer. I guess it was just last week. With some local stitchers that I had just met. And that was fun. And also, one of the people who comes there has opened an Etsy shop and is making these project bags. And her name is Tiffany, and her shop is called Black Cat X Stitchery, which I will link down below. And I bought this project bag from her, which I think is really fun. Look at the, ooh, love that. These remind me of my two favorite flowers, which are like daisies and chicory. So now I'm going to move a project into this. Hadn't yet. And it will even fit my project on my Q-snap, which is good. My 8, not my 11 by 11, but my 8 by 11, it will fit. So that's good because like I said, I don't like to take my things off the hoops. And Tiffany was so nice to also give me a second bag to give away to you guys. So I've not done a giveaway before, so we'll figure this out together. But this, unfortunately, you're not going to get this before Christmas, but it is Christmas themed. Here, let me show you the back. It's kind of like this old-timey Christmas stamps. It's very cute, but even though you won't get it till after Christmas, I'm sure you can still put it to use. Put all your Christmas projects in it until next year when you get them out again. Or just stitch Christmas projects all year long if that's your thing. So I won't decide on the winner until my next video, which won't be until January 3rd. So that's why I say you're not going to get it by Christmas, because I'll decide it January 3rd and then hopefully ship it quickly after that if I hear back from the person quickly. So you won't be getting this till January. But anyhow, if you're interested in being entered into this giveaway, use the word Christmas in a comment down below. And I guess I'll, do what everybody else does on Flosstube and use one of those random comment pickers. I've never done any of that before, but I'm sure I can figure it out when the time comes. So you need to be 18 so that I can get your address, and all the same rules as all the other I'm sure you're familiar with the other Flosstube giveaways. So don't use the word giveaway, free, or I think contest, anything that's going to draw people here who are not stitchers. Let's not do that. So use the word Christmas. I'll pick a winner from the comments on this video the day I do my next video on January 3rd, and then I'll send it out to you. So I'm excited. I'm excited to do a giveaway. And check out Tiffany's store. I will put the link down below, Black Cat X Stitchery on Etsy. Okay. The other thing I wanted to do was, I know I've been showing some of the past projects I've made at the end of the video from before I started my Flosstube. I think I'm down to just a few that I have in the house that I haven't given away. So I'm just going to show these last 3 real quick. So I think I might have shown this one before, but I didn't really say much about it. Ooh, bad glare. So this is just a little camping one from Axebe, like Axebe on Etsy, which is the same place I bought the pattern for my bird garden that I'm doing, which they seem to have similar colors too. Anyhow, this one was fun, but I got a little bored because like this is all one color and I was just like, ugh. By the end of it, I was ready for lots of colors. So that is one that I did last year. This is my favorite piece that I have done completely. This is called Winter Deer. It's an Emma Congdon piece from her Stitch Rovia Etsy shop. Let me turn this off for a second to get that glare gone. And it was so fun to stitch. Some of it's hard to see, but like, for instance, this mountain here, every other stitch is a slightly different color. So it is mottled, but it's like hard to see unless you're up close, but it gives it some texture. I love the colors on this. I love the little patterns inside the colors that you can barely see. And I just love it. I broke my frame. It is taped, so now it cannot be hung up until I buy a new frame. But yeah, that is my favorite piece. It's also the one that like I spent the most time on. About 120 hours for that one because it's kind of big. I did not realize it was like so much bigger than the normal pieces that I do. And here's one more that I had in the house because I made this one for my husband, and so it was just downstairs. And it's also another Emma Congdon piece from her cross stitch for the Soul book. I don't know why I turned that back on because then I'm gonna need to see it in the glass again. Anyhow, it says, "A good companion shortens the longest road." Greek proverb. And I just really like that one. I also really like this frame with it because I think it just really, I don't know. I like the little rustic look. Although it's like not real wood, I don't think. It was a cheap frame. I think I said before, I like to frame my pieces in cheap frames. Whoops. Because then you have these little tab things that you can force over because the fabric is a little too thick. Okay, so there's that. And the last thing, I actually got a couple crafty gifts from family. So I thought I'd just show those too. They're not cross stitch. But I thought, what the heck? Before I put them away. So firstly, I know I mentioned my grandmother used to cross stitch and now she quilts. Well, I know she's watching this, so she'll see this and then I'll be in trouble because this isn't on the wall yet. We're working on it. She made this quilt for my youngest daughter. How am I gonna do this? It's not like a full quilt size, but it's probably too big for this. It is a rainbow unicorn. There, you can mostly see it. Anyhow, it is a wall hanging quilt, and the back is this pretty red flower. So she made this for my youngest daughter because her room is a rainbow unicorn theme. And this is going to go great up above her bed. Just need to hang the little thing up, which will be on the to-do list for the week after Christmas, I think. Whoops. So that is something my grandma made, which is super fun. And then also, I saw my aunt 2 days ago, and she made me something. She does, I don't even know what the word, what the description is for the stuff that she does. It's like resin. Some sort of, no, not resin. I don't even know. Anyhow, she pours this stuff. It's not exactly paint. And she makes things out of it. And she puts them on like furniture sometimes, or like a canvas like this. Anyhow, she made this one for me because it looks similar to a chicory flower, which is my favorite flower. And I have a picture of one tattooed on my foot. So I really like that. I have to find a place to put it. And this was also just sitting in my room, so I thought I'd just show you. This is another one she had made for me at a different time, not recently. But this is kind of, I think, a little bit more of what her pieces usually look like, is just kind of like these colors. I guess it's like a poured resin. I should have figured that out before I made this video. Anyhow, this is a lot of what they normally look like, but she's also experimenting with like making actual designs as well. So those are some fun crafty gifts I've received, or I guess the one was my daughter received, but close enough. And I think that's everything. I didn't write any notes this time, but I think that's basically everything I needed to cover. Hopefully I will have more time to stitch, but I'm not counting on it because my kids are going to be home. And I usually stitch when they're at school. And so I'm not really sure how much progress I'll make before my next video, but I guess we'll see. I may try to do weekly videos in January. We'll see. Depends, I guess, if I don't get this much stitching done for the rest of the winter because I'm not feeling motivated. We'll wait until spring. And I also have a vacation coming up in January, so that will be fun. I'll tell you more about that later. But just my husband and I leaving for 6 days and leaving the kids at home, so that'll be fun. Okay, I guess that's it. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Don't forget to comment below. For the project bag, use the word Christmas. And, oh, I guess I should have mentioned it before, but please be a subscriber if you are commenting for the giveaway. That would be great. I'll see you guys all next time. Have a good holiday week. And we'll see you in the new year. Bye.